Look closely at a global weather system from orbit, and you will see immense scale and sheer chaos. Now imagine trying to process that raw atmospheric power when you've only been alive for 36 months. The sky is an unpredictable ceiling that produces terrifying claps of thunder or suddenly dumps water, ruining recess. Early childhood educators know they cannot sit toddlers down to explain barometric pressure or warm fronts. Instead, they rely on a highly calibrated system of sensory inputs, daily routines, and rhythmic music to translate that chaotic sky into a controlled, manageable environment. By walking through how teachers tackle the 4 seasons, we can see exactly how they shrink the atmosphere down into an observable, empowering playground. When spring arrives, the morning weather calendar becomes the focal point of the classroom. Teachers use physical routines, like pulling on shiny rain boots every single morning, to ground the unpredictability of spring showers into a reliable daily habit. They also lean heavily on language, specifically the onomatopoeia found in seasonal songs. The pitter-patter of rain and the splash of puddles become part of the daily vocabulary. This animated flowchart illustrates why that works. Teachers take complex, intimidating audio waveforms, like a heavy thunderstorm, and filter them down into simple, repeating blocks of phonetic text, like pitter and patter. Summer poses a completely different pedagogical challenge. The sun is massive and blinding, but unlike a thunderstorm, it is completely silent and impossible to touch. To compensate for that lack of sound and texture, educators use gross motor movement. They prompt kids to stretch their arms in wide, sweeping circles to mimic the sun's shape. They translate visual light into a physical dance. A quick, wiggling motion with the fingers becomes a shimmer shine, giving the sun a tangible presence in the room. Tying these weather patterns to specific physical motions and phonetic sounds gives toddlers a way to grasp abstract atmospheric conditions using their own bodies. Autumn introduces one of the most difficult weather concepts for a child to grasp, the wind. For a toddler who is just learning the rules of object permanence, an invisible force that pushes physical leaves across a playground is baffling. Teachers bridge this cognitive gap with hands-on science. They have children blow on pinwheels or use straws to push liquid watercolors across a piece of paper. This logic matrix shows exactly how those exercises function for a developing brain. On the left, we have the cause, an invisible vector representing the breath or the wind. On the right, the observable effect, the spinning pinwheel. The secondary object proves the invisible force exists. Then winter arrives, bringing snow, which serves as an immersive, tactile learning tool. If it's too cold to go outside, teachers recreate the freezing weather at a table using sensory bins. They fill trays with blue rice, shaving cream to replicate clouds, and clear glass gems for ice. Squishing that shaving cream or counting out cotton ball clouds one by one connects raw physical sensation directly to early math skills. These tactile cause and effect experiments create a safe sandbox where children can measure and manipulate an environment they otherwise cannot control. Step back and listen to classic tunes like Rain, Rain, Go Away or the Rainbow Song with all this in mind. These bouncy songs act as a Trojan horse. A single musical note branches out into 3 pillars: math, literacy, and emotional regulation. The lyrics prompt children to count raindrops, spell words, and practice deep breathing, syncing with the musical tempo. Translating the chaos of the weather into actionable sensory verbs, tasting the snow, feeling the wind, hearing the thunder, shifts the power dynamic directly to the child. The sky stops being a source of random, frightening events. Equipped with these physical and phonetic tools, toddlers can observe, understand, and confidently navigate the weather.